Are you an introvert who dreads negotiations? Stick around because in this video, I'll reveal powerful tactics from Chris Voss that will help you negotiate like a pro. Let me tell you a story about Arthur, a 29-year-old software engineer working in a tech startup. Arthur is introverted and always found negotiations intimidating. He often felt overwhelmed in meetings, especially when discussing his salary or project terms. Like many introverts, he dreaded confrontational situations. This all changed when he discovered Never Split the Difference by Chris Voss. Arthur's introversion made negotiating a daunting task. He would prepare meticulously, but end up agreeing to unfavorable terms just to avoid prolonged discussions. He felt frustrated and undervalued, knowing he needed a different approach to navigate negotiations successfully. Arthur came across Never Split the Difference, a book by Chris Voss, a former FBI hostage negotiator. The book's unique approach to negotiation caught his attention. Voss's techniques promised to be effective for anyone, even introverts like Arthur. Key concepts from Never Split the Difference. 1. Tactical empathy. Voss emphasizes the importance of understanding the emotions and mindset of the person across the table. Tactical empathy involves actively listening and validating the other person's feelings, which helps build trust and rapport. 2. The mirroring technique. This simple yet powerful technique involves repeating the last few words your counterpart says. It encourages them to elaborate further and feel heard, creating a collaborative atmosphere. 3. Labeling emotions. Another strategy is labeling emotions, which means acknowledging and naming the emotions you perceive in your counterpart. Phrases like, "it sounds like you're feeling," can diffuse tension and open up more honest communication. 4. The power of no. Voss flips the script on the conventional wisdom that a yes is the ultimate goal in negotiations. Instead, he teaches that getting the other party to say no can actually create a sense of control and safety, making them more likely to agree to your terms later. 5. Calibrated questions. These are open-ended questions that begin with what or how. They are designed to keep your counterpart engaged and thinking without feeling pressured or defensive. For example, "how can we solve this problem together?" encourages collaboration. Real-life scenarios and applications. Scenario 1. Workplace negotiation. Arthur once had a tough project negotiation with his manager. He began by mirroring his manager's statements and labeling his concerns. "It sounds like the timeline is a major issue for you." This opened a candid discussion about deadlines and resources. By the end of the meeting, Arthur secured more time and support for his project without needing to push aggressively. Scenario 2. Personal relationships. During a disagreement with his partner, Arthur used tactical empathy and calibrated questions. "It seems like you're really frustrated with how things turned out. What can we do to make this right?" This approach diffused the tension and led to a productive conversation about avoiding similar issues in the future. Scenario 3. Buying a car. Arthur recently bought a car and put Voss's techniques to the test. During negotiations with the dealer, he used mirroring and labeling. When the dealer mentioned the price, Arthur mirrored, "the price is firm." This prompted the dealer to reveal more details, eventually showing flexibility. Arthur walked away with a better deal than anticipated. Scenario 4. Salary negotiation. In a salary negotiation, Arthur used tactical empathy to understand his employer's position. When his boss mentioned budget constraints, Arthur labeled the concern, "it sounds like the budget is tight this year." This acknowledgement opened the door for Arthur to present his case for a raise based on his contributions and the value he added to the team. By focusing on the employer's needs and framing his requests accordingly, Arthur secured a raise. Scenario 5. Team collaboration. Arthur applied these techniques in team meetings as well. When team members had differing opinions on project directions, Arthur used calibrated questions like, "what are your main concerns with this approach?" and "how can we address these issues together?" This fostered a collaborative environment, ensuring all team members felt heard and valued, leading to more cohesive and productive teamwork. Scenario 6. Freelance client negotiations. As a freelancer on the side, Arthur often dealt with clients who tried to negotiate lower rates. Using Voss's techniques, he would say, "it sounds like budget is a concern for you. How can we structure this project to provide the most value? This approach helped him maintain his rates, while also showing clients he was flexible and solution-oriented. Scenario 7. Handling difficult conversations during a particularly challenging discussion with a difficult client. Arthur used labeling and mirroring to manage the situation. When the client expressed frustration, Arthur labeled the emotion, "It sounds like you're really frustrated with the current progress." This simple acknowledgement diffused the client's anger and allowed for a more productive conversation on how to move forward. Scenario 8. Negotiating with vendors. When negotiating with vendors for better rates or services, Arthur would use tactical empathy to understand their constraints. By saying, "It seems like offering a discount is challenging due to your overhead costs," he showed understanding and respect for their position. This often led to vendors being more willing to negotiate terms that benefited both parties. Scenario 9. Navigating office politics. In the corporate world, Arthur sometimes had to navigate office politics. Using Voss's techniques, he would approach colleagues and superiors with empathy and calibrated questions, fostering better relationships and smoother collaborations. For instance, in meetings, he would ask, "How can we ensure this project aligns with our department's goals?" Showing alignment with broader objectives. Scenario 10. Building consensus. In situations where Arthur needed to build consensus among stakeholders, he applied tactical empathy and labeling. By recognizing and addressing everyone's concerns, he facilitated discussions that led to mutual agreement and support for projects. It sounds like there are several concerns about the project timeline. How can we address these together to move forward? Result: transforming negotiation skills. Since adopting Voss's techniques, Arthur's negotiation skills have improved dramatically. He approaches negotiations with confidence, knowing he can navigate them without compromising his introverted nature. He has secured better deals at work, strengthened personal relationships, and even saved money on big purchases. The key takeaway here is that introverts can be powerful negotiators by embracing their strengths. Active listening, empathy, and thoughtful questioning are natural traits of introverts that can be leveraged effectively in negotiations. By using Chris Voss's techniques, you can turn perceived weaknesses into strengths and achieve your goals without becoming someone you're not. That's a wrap on using Chris Voss's techniques from never split the difference to master negotiations as an introvert. Share your own negotiation experiences and tips in the comments below. If you found this video helpful, hit that like button and subscribe for more self-development strategies. And don't forget to check out our other videos on negotiation tactics and personal growth. Let's all become negotiation experts together.